I will take up some points that Baba is underlining today, and one of them is the importance of self-talk. So Baba says, keep talking to yourself, about your journey, about your fortune, about what time it is, and about the fact that your purpose is to go back. And Baba always talks to me about these matters because Baba is the truth, and to his children he shares the truth about who the children are, who their father is, what time it is, what journey they've had. And now Baba always shares the happy news that it's time to go back home now. And Baba says that now you need to reiterate to yourself what I keep telling you. And only when you also keep remembering that which I keep telling you, then you will be having the courage and the ability to do what I ask you to do in order to go back home. Because you see, your awareness is responsible for your capacity. Smriti se samarthi, we say in Hindi. So your smriti, your awareness, is responsible for what you can or cannot do. And the more you remember what Baba asks us to remember, the more capable you are to do what Baba asks you to do. So this is what Baba says about the importance of self-talk. And you see, this is about the broad truths that Baba tells us. But otherwise also, what I have understood in this whole spiritual journey is that if you ask me, I feel that self-talk is as important as remembering Baba. So remembering Baba is, burning your sins and purifying yourself. But keeping yourself on the path of remembrance has got to do a lot with self-talk. And if you ask me, I have felt the importance and the power of talking to myself for very long, and that's a big part of my spiritual journey. So, and some days back, there was this Mata who had come to the center for the course, and she kept telling me that, Didi, my mother-in-law is like this, and then the husband is like this and that, and she was telling me about what they think, what they do, and how they are causing trouble and how they are causing chaos in her life. And then I told her, you are not talking about yourself. You are talking about yourself. You are talking to yourself about others all day. So when you talk about somebody who is creating chaos and trouble, and you keep talking to yourself about them all day, then what are you creating for yourself? Chaos and trouble. So then she said, what should I talk about myself? I am the wife, I am the daughter-in-law, and I am the receiving end. So whenever I think about myself, I just think about someone who is at the receiving end. So then I said, that's why let's not discuss this now. Let's understand who I am. And then when we finished the first chapter, then I recommended that, all the time keep talking to yourself, not about others, but about yourself. Who am I? What is my power? What is my virtues? Who is with me? The Almighty is with me. What is my purpose? And when you keep talking to yourself about this, you will give power to your purpose, your qualities, your powers. You will give power to your relationship with Baba. That relationship which is going to take you across, that relationship which is going to liberate you from the world of sorrow and take you to the world of happiness. You will be giving power to that relationship. You will be giving power to your virtues, your powers, and your purpose. And then she started doing that. And then she said that, Didi, I felt after 1 week, she shared her experience that she said that I felt that because I was thinking too much about them, I was reacting with even without knowing, I was reacting in my actions. And one of the biggest part of my reactions was that I was distancing myself, even in places where they had not asked, they had not put up a no entry board. So even in places where I used to be very okay and very engaging earlier, I just distanced myself because I kept thinking they don't like this, they don't want me, they don't want my interference. And then I just kept distancing myself. But then the moment I started thinking about myself, my virtues and powers and who is with me and my purpose, then I understood that I am making these mistakes, and now I have started correcting it. And when I have started correcting it, I can see the response also from the other side. So now you see that self-talk is so important, because whatever you think about will gain power. And when you think about, so self talk is in the form of thinking. So, it's your mind and buddhi talking. How does self talk happen? So, usually, when your mind is only talking, then it's not self talk, because self means the buddhi should talk to the mind. And the buddhi is knowledgeful. So, God is called the bestower of intellect, and He's called the restorer of intellect. So Baba gives us a very powerful and knowledgeful buddhi. And when the buddhi starts talking to the mind, then that is self-talk. And when the buddhi starts ordering the mind to think in a certain pattern, think in a certain way, that's self-talk. And Baba says, keep talking to yourself. And when you keep talking to yourself, then you will keep doing what Baba tells you to do. Because just like, Baba motivates us every day to be pure, to be yogi, to do seva, and Baba gives us the reasoning why we should do this, because it is good for me, it is good for my purpose. And then when you keep talking to yourself about what Baba talks to you, then what will you do? You will self-motivate yourself. And even when Baba motivates us, we get motivated for some time, but then it fizzles out, because the only motivation that can work in the long run is self-motivation. So Baba doesn't only talk to us, Baba teaches us how to talk to ourselves. And just like Baba is a father and a teacher and a Satguru all in one, so when Baba talks to us, he's also teaching us how to talk to ourselves. And we have to take those teachings and start talking to ourselves in that manner. Keep talking to yourself. Who are you? You are just a being of light. What are you afraid of? What are you scared of losing? What did you bring with yourself? What is your problem? Why are you in so much worry and fear? You have nothing to lose anyway. You are here, you have brought your part with yourself. You will go alone, you will go with Baba, you will have your destiny. Your destiny is already prefixed. Then why are you so worried and fearful? So, I remember when I came into Gyan, for almost 6 months, I was in a situation where nothing was going all right. And then in those 6 months, every day, I kept telling myself, I am a soul, I am eternal, I am deathless. I come alone, I go alone, I've got nothing to lose. And I'm not in fear of losing anything, and I don't want anything. And every day I kept telling this to myself for 6 months. And I tell you, it created such a fearless state in me that nothing mattered anymore. So everything was in a chaotic and tumultuous situation. But then it didn't matter. And once it stopped mattering, it stopped existing also. After some time, things changed also. So I really felt that, this, and that is the time when I felt the power of self-talk. So why Baba talks to us is, Baba teaches us how to talk to ourselves. So keep reminding yourself of your journey. Keep telling yourself how you were in the soul world, how you were in the deity world, and you have taken 84 births. And what have you not seen in those 84 births that you will see now? And why are you, why do you now have less courage to do what Baba asks you to do? You have played so many different parts, and it is absolutely easy and normal for you to do what Baba asks you to do, because anyways, purity is your natural state. Anyways, Baba is the one you have all relationships with. So having yoga with Baba, becoming pure, or doing seva, because being a giver is your natural instinct. So what is a big deal about it? So keep talking to yourself about these matters, and keep talking, keep reminding yourself about your purpose also. I may be doing many things all through the day, but what is my purpose? My purpose is to go back home and come to the world of happiness. So even while I'm doing everything, my aim is to be detached while I do everything, because ultimately I have to go back. And second thing is, I have to create Satyugi sanskars while I do everything, because I have to go back to that world of heaven. So I have to keep checking, am I detached? What sanskar am I creating? So Baba says, Baba underlines the importance of self-talk. Then Baba also underlines the importance of self-checking. Keep checking yourself. So mainly two things: how much do I remember Baba, and how much do I, whether I give sorrow to somebody. So Baba says two main points of checking. And otherwise also keep checking, your state, your vices, your actions. And self-checking is the only checking that's possible. So let us understand that we live in a world of hypocrisy. And in this world, we are taught to look good, not be good. And we always check how we are looking, not how we are becoming. So, I remember that when I was in college, I think, once my father told me that when when you're talking, always hear how you sound, because if you don't sound right, then other people will not take you rightly. Then I said, why don't you ask me to check how I think? Because if I'm not thinking right, I can never sound right. So, and if I'm not thinking right and I'm just correcting the way I sound, then there is a problem and it will become very difficult. So my father said, go get lost, do whatever you want. You don't listen to anything. So I was, of course, when you have been in Gyan 5,000 years back, so you don't understand where this is coming from, or you don't know how to check your thoughts, or but you have these ideas, I think, somewhere, that it's not, there's nothing wrong with the way I look or sound, there's something wrong with the way I am inside. And then why is there anger, or why is there these things? And that is the quest that makes you eventually belong to Baba. So Baba says that keep checking yourself, because in the world nobody asks you to check yourself. No, nobody asks you to check how you are. Everybody will ask you to check how you look. So you have a mirror for the face. You don't have a mirror for the heart. Yes, so you keep looking and checking and correcting your face in the mirror, and you keep checking your, tone and voice modulation, and I don't know what else, but and then you keep checking. I remember there was this one brother, and he was appearing for the so after you clear the NDA written exam, there's a 7-day exam they hold, which is like a personality test, and before they recruit you into the NDA. And then this brother had come for that training to give that exam. So there's an SSB, I think SSB they call it, SSB interview or something, and it spans over some days, 4 to 5 or 6 days. And then there is an institute in Delhi which gives you the training or the preparation for that interview. And then this brother attended that coaching for attending that SSB. And then, when he went for that coaching, he told me that they teach you how to sit, where to keep your handkerchief, where to keep your hand, and where to look, and this and that, so that you appear right. So, according to the psychological experts, you give the right indications regarding body language and stuff. And then he failed the exam. So so then I asked him, why did you fail the exam? Of course not immediately, because after he failed the exam he was very sad. So much later I asked him, why did you fail the exam? You had practiced everything, done everything right. And then he said, because I was lying, because I was not the person I was trained to portray. So I was trained to portray as very organized and very disciplined and very accurate, but I'm not that person. So the psychological experts could find that out. So you see, this is how, in the world, people who give personality trainings, they will also train you how to appear accurate, how to appear organized, how to appear intelligent. They cannot make you accurate or organized or disciplined or intelligent. So Baba says that, but eventually who you are is what matters. And if you are not who you want to portray yourself as, you cannot make that, you cannot, uphold that hypocrisy for very long. And so Baba says, check yourself, who you are. And Not even check yourself who you are, but check whether you are doing what you need to do to make yourself the best version of yourself. Because Baba says, at the end of 84 births, you are a mess. And then now I am giving you the method to go back to being the best version of yourself. And if you don't follow the method, you cannot be the best version of yourself. So keep checking whether you're following that method, or whether you are following the precautions and the cautions that I have given you. Because I have given you the medication and I have also given you the precautions. So I've given you what you need to do and what you have to abstain from, both. And keep checking both, whether you are doing what I have asked you to do and whether you are doing what I have not asked you to do. So if you don't check it for yourself, nobody can check it for you. And that's absolutely true. Nobody can check it for you. Your Purusharth only you know. Whether you are remembering Baba or not, whether you are following purity or not, whether you are doing seva or not, everything you know. And sometimes, some people may look like they are doing a lot of seva. So they may look like they are doing a lot of, they are having a lot of remembrance, but it may not be so. And sometimes, they may not look like it, but they might be doing it. I will tell you there was one sister, and I saw her, and this is a very strange example for me. That sister I saw in the center, and she had been living in the center for 5 years. And she looked like she's the most hardworking sevadhari in the center. And I have myself seen her cooking 50 aloo parathas in one go. And that's not easy. And anything you give her, she could do it very fast and she would do it very diligently. And then every day she would get up on time, she would be in Baba's room. And then, one day there was some mistake she did. And then the Didi said, if you have to live here, you have to behave yourself, or you can go back home. And then, she just packed her bag and left. And after that, the Didi called her so many times and she never came back. And then she went into the old world. And then, it made me think that all this while, you are seeing the seva, you are seeing the remembrance, but maybe that's not coming from a place of realization. Maybe you're just working, like many people are workaholics, or many people are, they like to be perfect in what they do, or they are hardworking. Maybe you're just doing it just like that, because if you are that strong, if you are a yogi, if you have accumulated the power of good wishes through seva, then obviously if somebody asks you leave the center, will you leave the center, or will you say this is my center? I cannot leave it, or I won't leave it. What is wrong with that? So, and you see, this happens always. You see, somebody makes a mistake, you say, you have to, if you want to live here, live in discipline, or you can go back. But then sisters don't leave. It happens at home also, you make a mistake, the parents say, either behave yourself or leave. Do the children leave? No, that's their house. They don't even give the remote of the TV. They will just keep sitting there. And that is, then it made me think that sometimes, you may look like you're doing a lot, but maybe it's just coming from a place of your old sanskar, not realization. Maybe, somebody has the sanskar of discipline, so they get up in the morning. Somebody has a sanskar of being hardworking, so they just do the work. But maybe it's not coming from the heart or from a place of realization or place of understanding your purpose and why you're doing it. And Baba says that similarly, every child has to check himself. What am I doing and why am I doing what I'm doing? Because maybe, you are doing something. First thing, are you doing something? So, are you getting up at Amrit Vela? Are you remembering Baba? Are you practicing purity? Are you abstaining from vices? Are you not giving sorrow to anybody? You have to check all these. And then also check the intention behind it. Because sometimes, it may be coming from a place of many things which I don't want to discuss. And it may not be coming from a place of love for Baba or love for your destiny or love for creating a fortune for yourself. Love for your aim that you want to be the best version of yourself. And this is very important. And if anybody else checks you, then sometimes you just, because there's the sanskar of ego, so somebody else checks you, it just hurts your ego. You don't change yourself because somebody checked you. And other times, when you check yourself, then only there is improvement. And then Baba also says this something very interesting today. Baba says, sometimes I call a child and tell them that you don't look like you're going to have a good position in Satyug because you are not practicing disciplines. Look at your behavior, look at your food, look at what your seva, you're not doing any seva. And Baba is the one who always looks at our positives. And we cannot even imagine Baba calling somebody and saying that, this is wrong with you and that is wrong with you. But is Baba being critical or is Baba criticizing us? No, Baba says that when I call a child and say this, I say this because there is still time. And if the time was over, I would never say that. I would accept the child as he is. But when the time is left and the child can make effort, then I call the child and by telling them about their weakness, I sometimes kind of give them a hint that they have to do better. Because there's still time. And sometimes when if it is in the drama, then the child feels that, I am not living up to Baba's hopes. And then because he has love for Baba, so he would try to make that effort. And, when sometimes, with students, the instruments also do that. So when the instrument knows that the student has love for Baba in the instrument, then they would say that, you're not doing this right. And then you don't want to be the person, who hurts the instrument. So then you would do that. Or you don't want to be the person who doesn't live up to the hopes of Baba. So then you would do that. And that is also one method through which Baba encourages sometimes. So, but again, ultimately it is self-checking. So check what you're doing. Also check why you're doing what you're doing. Are you doing it with purpose? Are you doing it with realization? Do you really understand who you are and what you're going to become? And are you doing it for that? So do it with that spiritual clarity, with that clarity of knowledge. So this is also another thing. Then Baba says, third thing Baba says, Baba says each of you has to study independently. Yes, so check for whether you are independent on this path. And when you are climbing a mountain, then when you start, sometimes it's a group that starts climbing the mountain. But then as you go further up, what happens is many have fallen down. And then when you reach the peak, then only one of you reach alone. And anybody who is afraid to be alone cannot reach the peak of the mountain. And Baba says that this journey of Sangam Yuga is called to be an uphill journey, Chadti Kala, we are climbing. All the 84 births we are falling down. But in this Sangam Yuga, we are climbing, we are ascending. And when we are ascending, we have to understand that although you may have started this journey with someone, or you may be with someone when you started the journey, but then your spiritual journey is a very personal thing. You cannot demand support and cooperation. You cannot, even if you're getting support and cooperation, you should know that maybe you will not get it tomorrow. And you should be prepared for that. And each of us have to make individual effort. My effort in this journey, my only companion is Shiv Baba. Nobody else is my companion in this journey. And I do not have to look for support, cooperation, and companionship. And if you are with Baba, cooperation will follow. There's a very good song in Bengali, walk alone, ekla cholo. So they say, just go alone, walk alone. Why? Because if you, and Baba says, don't even walk alone. I'm always with you. So I'm your constant companion. But do not seek anybody else's support, else's cooperation. If you learn to walk with Baba, others will cooperate. Cooperation, when you walk alone, there will be a crowd behind you. But if you wait for the crowd, nobody will come and accompany you. That's the interesting thing. So Baba says, you must understand how to make individual effort on this journey. Our effort, our study is independent. Never think about, even if, I remember there was this one Mata, and when she started the journey, they came as a couple. So the husband and came along, and they both were coming. And then the husband, midway, he did not want to be celibate. And then he struggled with the idea of celibacy. And then he started fighting with the wife, and he said, I don't want to follow this path. So we went together, now we should leave together. And then this Mata said, no, I have found my Baba, and I am a soul, and he is God. And if you don't want to follow the path, that's up to you. But I want to follow the path. And then he kind of, he put many obstacles in her way. But then, and when she used to come alone later, everybody would ask, where is Bhai Sahab? Where is Bhai Sahab? Because people don't understand. So even the Brahmins, they would ask, where is your husband? And where Bhai Sahab didn't come today. But she would keep quiet. And she would know that her study, her path is independent. And when she kept walking, 7 years later, the husband again joined. And then the husband thanked her after 7 years that just because, you didn't lose faith, you kept walking on the path. So I could see what I have become in 7 years and what you have become in 7 years. And when I saw that I have only gone downhill and you have only progressed, then I felt that it's a good thing that at least one of us is safe. And then I can, take your help and cooperation and proceed on this journey now. And then he started coming. So Baba says, always know that your path, even if, somebody has been supportive, been cooperative, very good, you're thankful for them. But always know that there is a system of thank God in the world. Yes, because only when you are with Baba, everybody will cooperate with you. And if in the pursuit of cooperation by human beings, you leave Baba, then you cannot have anybody's cooperation. So Baba says, that's why, when you are with me, maybe for some time you will have to walk alone, but you will receive some or the other cooperation, maybe from not that person, but some other people. But then when you're without me, that one person for whom you left me will never belong to you. So Baba says, that's why don't hanker after cooperation. Understand your study is independent and focus on that. So self-talk, self-checking, and study independently. These are 3 points that I wanted to talk about from the Murli today. Om Shanti.